Going. There is a couple of cons with him though, and one's the pressure. He's a high-profile recruit, being paid big money in the terms that he got there. That's going to be a lot of pressure on Kurt Tippett. We're going to keep a close eye on him today. If I miss a cross, boys, or an interchange or an injury, don't blame me, because I'm looking at Tippett very, very closely.
Okay, Baz. And the Swans, who played almost the perfect game here a couple of weeks ago, begin in unbelievable style and straight in, and they come from everywhere. Kurt Tippett takes the mark.
And now all eyes will be on the kick. He's got Alapati Carlisle as an opponent, and as soon as he went down to his position, Carlisle started to bump him, hit his shoulder, a couple of pushes in the back, just say, welcome back, son. You're not going to get an easy ride here. But this is a dream start, and the fairy tale finish would just to slot this through with a nice kick, and he's on his way.
Well, the wind at his back is going to help him. It shouldn't be too hard a kick.
Well, Port wanted some help during the week to boo Kurt Tippett, but a little curtsy perhaps to start the day from Tippett, who kicks the opening goal. Quickly gets it moving. Good body work. G. Bolton in his wonderful 300-game-plus career. He's just thrived in these conditions. The umpire pings him for that.
Yeah, he loves tackling Bolton. He's had more tackles than any player in the history of the AFL, who probably lay another 10 or 15 today.
Oh, more at the back. Late inclusion. Westhoff and Wingard. There's the response.
Well, that was a strange one, because there was a massive pack and it didn't look like anyone got anything on the ball. The ball spilt to Schultz out the back. I don't know if he actually took the mark. That might have been paid, but he played on. He might have been able to claim the mark, but it was scrapped through, and Wingard's proven to be a consistent goal scorer in recent times.
He has. He's been one of the star small forwards in the competition. A lot of people wouldn't have seen much of Chad Wingard, but he's averaging a couple of goals a game. He averages low 20 possessions. He wins the hard ball, and he's a star of the future. Premiership winning football in June, so I guess that's the big question. Can they keep it going for the next 3 or 4 months?
Still no Sam Reid, of course, and Lewis Jetta.
Lewis Roberts-Thompson, Mumford,
Reece Shaw.
Reece, yeah.
Oh, wow, that was now McVeigh. McVeigh actually pushed him into it. It was...
Kane Corns?
Was it Kane Corns? No, McVeigh pushed the other... I'm trying to think who it was. It might have been Schultz.
Schultz, yeah.
Pushed him into the Sydney player with a decent shove, and then the umpire paid the free kick. You ever look at the shove that McVeigh... You can just see him going there, and then he gets pinged for low contact. That's a dreadful decision.
Well, that's not having a feel for the game, is it, Jace?
He gets a great shove there. You can just see that perfect shove there. He nearly loses his head.
Well, to the immediate eye, we thought it would have going to be a Sydney free. So that was reasonable for Goods to think that too. That's shuffled out on the full by Parker.
And that's a lesson for players. When you're crammed up on the boundary line, you're under pressure, you shouldn't go and try and kick it. Use the handball, because you can't give a free kick away if it goes out in the full with the handball.
Particularly in these conditions, I guess, Root. It's harder to control everything. We've seen that from both sides so far. They're really plucky here, Port, at the moment. Campbell Heath gets worked off the ball, but Cassisi, a couple of big touches. It's open. Broadbent, we know he can. He thinks about handballing. Maybe the indecision might cost him, but no! Great strike, just to the left.
I don't know why he didn't use Jay Schultz.
He thought about it, didn't he? Ebert with 5 for Port Adelaide. So too Logan. There's Jesse White, fresh from one of his best games for the Sydney Swans. Kennedy and Goods. He's got that metre on the wrist. That was all he needs. And he went back and comfortably put it through for a goal. It was like he was kicking it from 15 out.
Well,
throw in, but the umpire thought not enough. Thomas made some sort of effort to get it back in.
Have a look at the spread from the contest here. You talk about spread. Adam Goods just read it a half a step quicker than 3 Port Adelaide players that were chasing him. That's just knowledge of the game. As soon as you see things going your way, you go hard. That's what Sydney do, and they're so good at it.
Umpire's not keen to blow the whistle at those ruck contests, and you would guess who's got it again? Kurt Tippett.
Well, you know what? I've got a real issue with Alapati Carlisle allowing Kurt Tippett front position. It's wet.
Why would
He's
you?
not going to mark the ball overhead very easily. So take away where he's most likely to get it, and that's the quick kick or the lead-up ball that he can mark on his chest. He's got to take front position away from Kurt Tippett.
Yep, spot on, Jace.
So Tippett has not taken long to show his value, and his kicking has been clean so far. He's got 2.
It's a not ban tag. That separates the A-grade midfielders from the B-graders.
Jesse White had a piece of it. Cut for Westhoff. O'Keefe right across the face.
Stayed in.
It had a mind of its own, didn't it? Campbell Heath. Oh, great smother from Mike Pike. Now it's out.
They sting a bit on a day like today, Jace.
I'm not sure he knew too much about that, Pikey, but he got himself there.
Oh, yeah. Back. The bicep.
Westhoff late to engage.
Oh, look at this.
Brilliant stuff. Kieran Jack left them in their way, in his wake, and Rams saw another goal.
By dragging another Sydney player into the space.
Hartlett. It's good stuff to get under the boot of Westhoff. To the wing now, and Jack trying to get into his spinning move early. But Porter able to keep it bubbling. Westhoff again for Monfries. Ebert had time to assess, and it was a great kick to the very good positioning that had been made by Broadbent, who'd run down the ground.
You said about Cassisi going to McVeigh. They're also using Brad Ebert to go to Malcheski, so they are very, very aware that their half-backers are the ones that set the play up for the Sydney Swans, and Ebert there, not only did he do his job in keeping Malcheski out of it, but a beautiful kick to Broadbent.
So he's got to make this count. You've got a great view of it here. He gets terrific contact, and Port Adelaide have made an outstanding start to the second quarter.
Well, it was all about use of the footy going forward. And he didn't have any options in the attacking 50. So it was a great hand pass there from Cassisi that released the ball from the stoppage. And then Ebert, you could see there were 2-on-1 against Jake Need down the bottom right of the screen. But he looked square, and that's where Broadbent had pushed into space. When you talk about momentum through your kick, he gives it a decent old roost, doesn't he?
Yeah, he can kick him from well outside the 50-metre mark. Brad Ebert trying to drag Malcheski right out of the play. You can't see it in your screen, but he's dragging him right out.
He's calling for it long, is Ebert.
Never going to get there, though.
Yeah, Malcheski clever, almost tempted him with the kick, but didn't end up handing it back to him.
Well, Cassisi did well to get back and spoil the mark from McVeigh. I think he might have copped one for his trouble too, Cassisi. Let's have a look here as he goes to ground. Oh! And Malcheski actually apologised to him after that. That's completely accidental, but he's worn one there.
He's pretty rough and rugged, though, isn't he, Cassisi?
Yeah.
Resilient.
Well, that's a goal.
Schultz.
Oh, no. That wind really got it late, Jose.
See what, there is a bit of wind there, though, and a lot of the play has been down here.
Good to watch, isn't it?
Poor old Nick Malcheski actually hurt his foot. What about him?
Now, Cassisi out of the pack. They're deep. It's a real grind here for Sydney at the moment because Porter really putting the pressure on. They've amped it up. Mead looking for a free and gets it.
Well, this is coming from repeated pressure. That's what it is. Malcheski's not happy. If he's not careful, he'll cost himself a 50. But some of the tackling from Port Adelaide's been first class. It's not just putting pressure on, it's nailing the tackles and making the ball spill.
The last goal that we saw Matty Broadbent kick come from a Jay Schultz tackle on the centre wing. So Port have been very good at the tackles this year. They've really upped it, and they're one of the best in the comp.
So Need comes in and puts it through. And Port Adelaide are back within 4 points. He's a live wire, Jack Need, that's for sure. That's his 8th goal of the season.
Well, upon reflection, I don't think... This is the tackle that I love, though. It was even.
Yep.
Still, there wasn't a lot in that. There really wasn't a lot in it. I mean, there wasn't much that Nick Malcheski could do. He's reaching down and then he pulls away and Need's sort of burrowing into him. So it's one of those that, you know, you wouldn't be that concerned if it wasn't paid.
Thanks for your time. We'll talk to you again in the 3rd quarter.
Good on you guys.
Alan Richardson there. Sydney lead by 4.
I reckon they'd be pretty content in the Port box right now.
Yeah,
this game at the moment doesn't look like really opening up. So they've got themselves in a really good catfight, if you like, and it's just a matter of staying true.
That's right.
Being disciplined and doing the same things over and over and over.
Have to be on guard here, though. Mitchell, oh, was that high? It was.
Well, he initially waved play on, but then I think he changed his mind after he saw the reaction. Kurt Tippett having a bit to say. I don't think Hamish Hartlett will be backing away from that. A wry grin on his face. Paddy Carlisle goes over and says something.
You've seen the boys around town when he was an Adelaide player.
He's still talking to Hamish Hartlett. There's a bit going on.
Tom Mitchell could not have impressed more in his very short AFL career, just his 3rd game, and he slots that one through. Swans' first goal of the quarter. 31 disposals and 1 goal too against the Crows. Has helped himself to a goal here. The Swans have settled. They lead by 10 only. They're good. The releasing handball was wonderful. Jack just shapes it back for Kurt Tippett.
I'd like to have a look at that.
Well,
he said push out first, then he said hands in the back.
He was protesting vehemently, Alapati Carlisle, to the umpire before he paid it.
Let's have a look.
He felt there was something there.
Let's have a look. Had him cold, didn't he?
Have a look in a moment as Moore goes short to Broadbent. Sun's come out. Must be positively boiling down there, Barry.
Oh, it's beautiful. We're just sitting in it now, just lapping it up.
Kick goes to the wing, tumbling effort from Richards. Smith heard the voice from McVeigh. Straight back to Shields. And it's all there for Angus Monfries.
And again, it came from pressure.
Well, this will be a goal from turnover. This is exactly what Port Adelaide need to do to Sydney, and this is exactly what Sydney usually do to their opposition, full marks.
You can have a look there. There's the hands in the back. That's what he's saying. And then Carlisle slipped. You can see him. He goes off at the umpire.
Yep.
So it's the hands in the back.
He didn't need to do it. Could have used his forearm. Just the hand slipped out. He had him absolutely cold, and it's just a technique error by Kurt Tippett.
That is a really bad miss. He just hooked it around the corner. He ran to the right and then just kicked it across the body. They cannot afford to waste opportunities against a team like Sydney because you don't get too many.
Didn't look like going through, did it? Wingard, dangerous ball, top of the square, anything could happen. And Malcheski.
Here they go.
Geez, bit of holding going on against Westhoff too. Now, can they hold firm here?
Well, he went long to McLean instead of short to Bird.
And he kept his feet. Then he made an error, Ebert.
McLean forced to give it up.
Look at the tackling. It's been first class.
It has been outstanding. And they've got rewards for it on occasions. Not always. But the true reward is that they're right in the thick of this contest. Ebert, Monfries, Rampy. Monfries looking for a free. Doesn't get it.
Good start by Port Adelaide in this 3rd quarter. You could expect that Sydney would come out and have a real crack at them here, but they are matching.
Words exchanged. Nick Malcheski and Angus Monfries. A couple little shoves, a push here and there.
Barble too. Play on the call. O'Shea. Bounce. Madrido might have been in trouble with the umpire.
Right, they've absorbed half the quarter without conceding a score, but if they take their finger off the pulse for a minute as these two continue to go at it, Sydney will go bang bang on the scoreboard.
Pike just fended it down. Westhoff. Adam Goods stole the moment. Stole the footy and the moment, as he so often does. Terminates that move forward.
McGlynn's found some space here. I reckon it's probably too far out.
We knew that, but it's not for Hartlett.
Right, this is a massive kick right here, Ruth.
I'd be surprised if he can make the distance, given what we've seen from other kicks earlier. He's a big kick of the footy, don't get me wrong, and he might, if he keeps it low and he puts the right punch in, he probably will be able to make it. But just the way that Wingard one stood up before, but it is coming from a different angle, so maybe we'll get it.
It'll take his very best effort, not just with distance, but with accuracy. A lot rests on the foot of Hamish Hartlett. He's going to kick it from outside 50.
So that was a horrible technique.
He actually went back further than I thought he would be coming from.
I'm not sure what he was trying to do there.
I'd be very surprised if that's his normal goal-kicking routine. It looked like 2 or 3 steps, and you need a lot more than that.
Muscled him initially, and then at ground level, Hanbury dangerous handball. Came back into the corridor. Kennedy there first. Again, he just heaves it out, and then sets it up for everyone. The foot race is on. Broadbent. Bolton, has he got him covered? It was good release. Jonas was adventurous. Hartlett, they've got their way through. Yes, they have. Ebert to the 50 again. Relentless pressure on this Swans defence. Knee up, knee down. And now they need support. Ollie Wines, crowd willing it. Trying to get it to the line. Gray came. Angus Monfries.
Got it.
It had to come.
That's a massive goal, an absolutely massive goal. So what they've done is 1 goal apiece in the third term thus far with 5 minutes to play. And it all came about because of that contest from Jake Neade. Not only did he stop what looked to be a certain Sydney mark, but he brought it to ground, kept his feet, and then got the rebound and shot a hand pass out. And then it was a good contest from Gray.
Gee, they used the ball from half-back well too, Port Adelaide. Under extreme pressure, they got the ball down in the forward 50 just by keeping the ball on the chest of their players. A couple of great pickups, a couple of good takes in these tricky conditions, and now Port Adelaide are really in the game.
It's close to the line, it's not out yet.
Yeah, they're confident,
They
aren't
are.
they?
It's amazing, isn't it? He's on the ground here, Pittard, not a great kick.
This is a huge 3 minutes of football, this is. Huge.
Look at deep.
Oh, he had McGlinnan and McVeigh, but he went in between to Hartlett. They are making critical errors, the Swans, at the moment, and they might pay full price. Beautiful delivery into Schiltz from Wines.
I was about to say, Hutto, it looked like Sydney were going to score down the other end. All they had to do was square it up, and they had players streaming into the 50, and you called it that in-between kick that didn't hit either loose player, turnover, and this could effectively be a 2-goal turnaround.
This is an even money ball game right now, isn't it? You'd be a brave man to tip against Port Adelaide at the moment with the win at the back in the last quarter and their fitness. They're coming on strong.
So here's Jay Schiltz. Oh, it's close. It is there. And Port Adelaide are just about there too in this contest.
Well, there might only be a smallish crowd here today, but they are really giving it their most. The supporters here. A huge turnover in the middle of the ground. Hamish picks it up, gives it to Kane Corns. He gives it to Ollie Wines. He pumps it in. Jay Schiltz well in front of Ted Richards. And he's missed a couple today, Jay, but he went back and kicked the most important one. Great goal for Port Adelaide. Huge quarter for Port Adelaide. They are right in it. Only 3 points behind.
They've been in front for about 95% of the day, the Sydney Swans. And they're going to go to the final change with a slender lead and a breeze in their face in the last turn.
Half metre. Thank you. Play on.
Rampy will have the last kick of the third quarter, and everyone is up on their feet and cheering here. The Port Adelaide fans, Koshy. Don't know if there's Adelaide Crows fans that are here and are actually clapping as well. But certainly there's a lot for Ken Hinkley to be excited about, not that he's showing it right now. They're right in this route.
Absolutely. If you had to pick one now, you'd be picking Port Adelaide with the breeze at their back, the fitness in the bank, the confidence in that last half of that third quarter. They've got the momentum not to take anything away from the City Footy Club.
You're a brave man if you tip against the red and white.
I don't like tipping Port Adelaide, I can tell you, but the way they're going at the moment, they look pretty good.
What it does mean is we've got a cracking quarter of footy left in this one.
It's going to be a beauty. It's the Swans 6-4-40, leading Port Adelaide 5-6-36. It's tight, it's wet, it's tough, and it's very, very close. Finding it hard to get to his feet. More West off. Monfils is broken back to the square, and it should be there. It should be Port Adelaide in front, and it is now. Right now.
Well, they've won 9 out of the 11 last quarters this year, outscoring their opposition by 116 points. They've had a couple of very big come-from-behind wins, noticeably against West Coast Eagles by 41 points, but that was a great, smart kick by Matty Broadbent, who could have got the distance but elected to do the short pass, the percentage thing to Angus Monfils, who put it beyond doubt. Great start by Port Adelaide. Confidence up, the crowd's up.
McVeigh, clever pass.
Look for Kieran Jack, who's very deep in the middle of the ground. He might just take off towards goal.
This is Lamb, the sub, Jed Lamb, galloping away. He could have gone short, said he goes long. Oh, Ebert went to ground, certainly wasn't timely. Jack, he was dancing this way and that and keeping them guessing all the way.
My God.
Pure class from Kieran Jack.
Come on, Angus, none of that.
Pike and Tippett both there in the air.
Play on.
Mitchell. Oh, look at that. Got out easily, Jonas.
Oh, that is such a good kick.
Perfectly placed. And Wingard, the classy youngster, to line up for goal.
How good was Tom Jonas, just weaving through traffic, keeping his head. And then on the non-preferred foot, on the left foot, he just weights it beautifully. What a great kick.
He's been solid today without starring Wingard. He's had the 17 disposals. He's already kicked the goal. And he's a beautiful kick of the ball.
Just 19 years of age. And he weighted it perfectly. Back on the breeze. And once again, they're in front.
Well, they're on the verge of something big here, but Roo, how often have we seen matches like this where the underdog is gallant but doesn't quite get there? So to make it a special day, they've got to go all the way. They've got to turn this into a win. That's what can turn a season around.
Jace, they've got the confidence to do it. They've probably done it more than anyone this year that come from behind. They are really fit under Darren Burgess, super fit in fact, and they're chock-a-block full of confidence. I think they know they can win the game. Justin Westhoff, that was disappointing by a senior player. He nearly played on when he didn't need to, and then after he didn't and had a shot on goal, he still didn't get his routine right and go back and execute the kick on goal that he needed.
He's being watched closely by Grundy. Ollie Wines.
Pump it in there long.
Now he's got no other choice. Goes quite wide. Westhoff being restricted effectively by Grundy. Monfries fashioned something. Didn't do much. Swans perhaps had the numbers there, but they didn't count on Kasisi, the will of the former skipper. It was magnificent. Corns, dangerous. Oh, he's held, Gray.
He'll get the free kick. How good was Dom Kasisi underneath that pack before? The ball looked like it was going to go Sydney's way a couple of times, and he refused to let it get out. And then in the end, once he got a handle on it, he was able to feed it out. And it's when Gray turns. Have a look at the jumper here. And he grabs the arm just to retard him. Split-second decision. They can go either way, Roo, those sort of umpiring decisions.
Absolutely. Talked about Dominic Kasisi. 19 touches, 14 of those contested. That is the most for Port Adelaide. 8 tackles by Dominic as well.
Can't waste an opportunity like this.
Well, it should be okay with the way the breeze is today, but every kick is tough. He's executed perfectly, and once again it's Port Adelaide with the nose in front.
Well, there's Koshy. He's pumped.
Got some mates now.
He's got some mates. They're flocking in now for the last quarter. They know they're fit. They know they've done it before this year.
Have a look at Kasisi under this, Roo.
Oh, he loves it. Loves it, Dom Kasisi.
Stops it once there, then he goes again, twice. Well, then he gets up to his feet and he's able to feed it out the back.
Great give out. People wrote him off at the start of the year. They were questioning whether he's even in their best 22. And Robbie Gray, one out inside forward 50, is a very good option by the coach.
Exhilarating last quarter. 5 lead changes already. Out of the middle, Ollie Wines. And they're up to the 50 again. Shields, the touch, Ebert, the give, knee, the elusive one to full forward and a little wide.
Gee, that's a good opportunity gone to waste as well. They need to take them when they get them, Port, because you know Sydney will come back at them.
Well, they've had 7 inside 50s this quarter, Port Adelaide, for 3 goals.
Oh, what a handball from...
Could be a catastrophic error. And Wingard can make it really, really sting. It's there, Wingard, from the dead pocket.
Well, you can put that down to perceived pressure. You can see David Koch is happy, but Heath Grundy, he had control of the footy. He had a teammate behind him. He had plenty of time just to hand pass it back, and he panicked. He missed the target. Look at that handball. It's dreadful. And then all of a sudden, Port have got the numbers, and it couldn't have fallen in better hands. He started it out at the left-hand goal post, kicks his 3rd goal of the match. This is it. Plenty of time, no pressure. Heath Grundy won't be happy with that.
We talk about how good the Sydney defence is, but 8 inside 50s in this last quarter for 8 shots on goal. 4 goal, 4 prior to this game. Only 35% of entries went through for a score. So well done to Port Adelaide. Not so good by Sydney.
Off the ground goes Kennedy, but it's coming back. O'Shea.
Well, Sydney are coming up hard.
Broadbent thumping it deep. Westhoff, can he get up over the top? Oh, he didn't have to.
Unbelievable.
He's had one from the same angle about 5 metres closer in.
He's just got to go and steady himself, and he's got to think about what he does at training with his goal-kicking routine. Don't worry about the score. Don't worry about the effect, whether it's a goal or a point. He's just got to go back. He's got to aim slightly left of the left goalpost, and he's got to kick through it as if he's kicking from 50 metres. Don't try and poke it. Don't lean back. Kick through it.
Justin Westhoff.
Good kick.
Great kick. They are an irresistible force, and they will take some stopping now.
Well, I haven't seen Sydney dominated like this for a long time. This is unbelievable.
It's shirts off time.
14-5 inside 50s in this fourth term. And they've created so many terrific scoring opportunities. That's just judging the ball better than the rest of the pack. It's floating on the wing. He got on the wing side of the contest and took advantage of it. They're nearly twice as many possessions as Sydney in the fourth term.
Morton was demanding it through the middle, but where to next? Out wide, Rampy. The runners come from behind at last for the Swans. To Parker. Negotiate through centre half forward. Kick it cleanly. And McLean deep. Pushed off it by O'Shea. That's as good as a goal at the other end.
Gee, that's a good spoil. Going back with the flight of it. Now they can take their time and set up. Although someone's got to go back and take the kick. No one's gone back. He's got to fetch the ball.
What's going to be an upset, but Jesus, emotional victory for you can just feel it down here for the crowd.
Well, the crowd have played their part, haven't they?
Yeah.
From early in the second, they could sense something.
Here we go. He's just stepped on the line as he's kicked it Brad Ebert. So we get a ball up here.
Time off.
Well, the scenes are going to be fantastic. We know it's home and away season. It's round 13.
Don't hold on,
but wins like this.
Oh, he's well out. I mean, you're not allowed to touch the line. He's got his heel on it and half the foot over the edge.
Just have to be savoured. To Cece, the countdown well and truly on now for the Port Adelaide crowd who have come out on a freezing wet Saturday afternoon to watch their team, massive underdogs. And they've been able to literally draw blood for the Sydney Swans.
They won 5 in a row, they lost 5 in a row, and now they're back on a winning streak.
Well, they might be. They've won 2 in a row.
Well, they're going to 7th on the ladder after this result too, boys.
Brilliant.
Better rent your own ticket at the start of the year for that, Jase.
30 seconds now.
There's something that's uplifting about watching a young team, a new team, a developing team stand up and take on one of the heavyweights.
Absolutely, and that's what we love about football. If you're slightly off, if you're a good side to slightly off,
and imagine
give them a sniff.
All those Port supporters that thought, oh, it's a bit cold, a bit wet today. They've missed something special, the ones that haven't come out today.
I'll just sit on the couch and watch today.
Hartlett
should have been down here.
14 seconds to go. And the clock.
There's going to be an almighty roar in here.
Oh, there certainly is, and so there should be. The ball over the line and out of bounds. 5 seconds to go. As you said, Jason, they've missed some opportunities, but in a way it just makes the win even sweeter for Port Adelaide. Under Ken Hinckley, they've had some great victories this year. This is the sweetest of them all so far. They have drawn the blood of the Sydney Swans. Port Adelaide win by 18 points against the reigning premiers. Disbelief but sheer jubilation from the crowd here at AAMI Stadium. They've won a flag before, but this goes down in history as one of their very best.
Has just been Port Adelaide. You could see the jubilation on the players when the siren sounded. They leapt in joy. It's been a monumental achievement, overcoming the benchmark of the competition, the reigning premier. And that man there, Ken Hinckley, well, he's had the highs and lows already, hasn't he? They thought it was the second coming when he won 5 in a row. And then you get brought back to the harsh reality of football. You lose 5 in a row, but he didn't lose faith.
No.
He just kept sending the message, kept working on what they're working on, and then you get a performance like this. As they start to get more wins under their belt, they get themselves back in the 8. Unbelievable.
And interesting to see his reaction there. not getting carried away at all. Just
He's been brilliant this year. From the moment he come to the club, all over the summer, the way he's been communicating with the media and with the players has been absolutely fantastic.